Michael, give me a reaction to that. What a finish.
Yeah, it was great, wasn't it? It's always nice to see off a game as late as what we did, because you always feel, I suppose, that you're not really giving the opposition an opportunity to get back into it. But I think in general as a whole, I felt quite comfortable at half time. As daft as that sound, we've given a stupid goal away. From experienced players should know better than that. And they do, and they put their hand up because we've got an honest group. But they're prepared to shrug it to one side and get on. But I just thought the performance in the second half, even against 11 men, just shown the character, I suppose, that we've got at the minute.
Yeah, before we move on to the positives, your thoughts on that Peterborough goal? Is it a balancing act trying to?
Yeah, listen. At the end of the day, it's one of them where we're not talking about young players. It was experienced players. So I don't need to go in there and give an absolute rollicking to players. It's just to put a little bit of a look and go, look, come on, we're better than that. We can make better decisions than that, and recognise the state of the game and stuff. So it won't go away from what we want to do and how we want to do things. It's just making sure that we tweak it and we just make sure that we do it at the right time. And
it was a thrilling second half. And as you say, you were more than in the game at 11v11.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought even the first half, we've had a couple of great opportunities that didn't go our way, and we knew we needed to do something to win the game, and that was why the change at half time. Just felt we needed to switch the play a little bit quicker. Obviously, Michael's done brilliant for us in terms of his experience, and he gives us that little bit of steel in the middle of the park. But George, obviously, with his ability on the ball to switch the play, I felt we needed that in the second half. And we did, and we started quite brightly, but then there was a little bit of a lull. And obviously it was the opportunity then to bring Big John on and see if he could rough him up a little bit, which he did do. The sending off definitely obviously helped us, but even though we got a little bit of luck with the deflection for Tyler's goal, we created umpteen opportunities, and the keeper's had a good day and the post has stopped us, and you're just thinking, is it going to be one of them days that don't quite work out? But then obviously the free kick, I've just been joking out there, and I was in the office, that sometimes they're the type of free kicks where if that was in the 20th minute, I wonder if he would have scored. And what I mean by that is that he knows it's almost one of the last kicks of the game. Your concentration levels have to be ultra high, but then obviously you need the technique to go and do it, and as soon as it's left his foot, I knew it was a goal.
Were you pleased with what George gave you in the centre of the park second half?
Definitely. I mean, he's got all the attributes, certainly in possession, to be a very, very good central midfield player. The one thing he still needs to do is off the ball, but he's getting better. If you can look at George today in that second half and the work he did off the ball, people won't recognise that because they see him when he comes alive and he's got the ball at his feet. But he's definitely getting better at it. And the more we expose him to that in the middle of the park, obviously it's going to benefit everybody.
And yeah, if you can align that off the ball stuff with his ability, which we all know he's got, you've got a hell of a player there, haven't you?
Absolutely, yeah. No, he's got. He needs to score more goals. He knows that. He had a season at Notts County where he scored a hell of a lot of goals coming off the left-hand side. I praised him the other day. Tyler's second goal, can't remember if it was our third goal the other day. I felt that he's the one that made it because he got across the near post, which allowed Tyler to tap it in at the far post. So them type of things, being unselfish and doing stuff for the team, runs off the ball, certainly helps.
Your thoughts on that sending off? I mean, the ref had no option really.
No, I mean, it was miles away from where we are, and the referee was literally 4 or 5 yards away. So it was just good that obviously we've kept our discipline again, and that was the most important thing. That's not for me to talk about, that's for Darren to talk about.
Just going back to the substitution at half time, Michael O'Connor's okay, is it? It was purely a tactical change?
Yeah, he's fine. We just needed to win the game, or certainly get some out of the game, and I just felt we needed to switch the play a little bit quicker. Obviously with them playing with a diamond, yes, your outlets a lot of the time are your full-back, so that was the idea behind it.
You've been in 2 of the top 6 in the last few days. What a Christmas it's been, and shows you can compete with the sides at the top of the table.
Absolutely, Mark, and it's one of them where obviously previous to that I thought we were valuing in the Coventry and Oxford game to take at least a point from both games. and that'll give the players confidence. But obviously these 2 back-to-back wins, certainly will give them belief. But as boring as I'm going to sound, the reality is we've got another big game in 2 days' time, and I'm already speaking to him about Sunderland in the dressing room. So I want to finish the week off on a high if I can. And we want to go there and be really competitive.
I think you could go ahead of them if you win on.
Yeah.
Is that right? If you beat them on Saturday, and you played 2 big teams over the last few days, and the biggest team in the division in Sunderland, and that'd be a great way to round off this period, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would, and it's important that we expect that from them and demand that from them, and got to keep our foot on the gas, make sure that we go there, expecting to give them a really good game and take it to them, and I'm sure they will. I mean, the biggest thing is going to be the recovery now between now and then, making sure that we recover properly and they eat properly and they rest properly, and the lads who haven't had much game, making sure we keep on top of them, because as you've seen today, and it's important that when you bring subs on, they have an impact on the game. And the obvious impact is John, just because he's massive and balls into the box and things drop for him or someone else. But I thought Payne today as well just gives a little bit of energy without doing massively anything eye-catching. He just gives a little bit of energy as well when he comes off the bench.
And that's a great sign if the players who are coming on are giving you that impact, because that probably wasn't the case a couple of months ago, but the players are coming on and making an impact.
Definitely, you probably heard me say it, 2, 3, 4, 5 games into my reign about wanting more from my subs when they come on, and I want them to have an impact on the game in a positive manner rather than a negative manner, and it's important that continues.
Are you hopeful of getting any business done before the weekend?
I'm hoping we can get one done before Saturday. I'm reasonably confident. I'm not a betting man, but I'm reasonably confident. If we don't, it's not a major issue. We've got to be right. It's got to be right. We've got to take our time. But hopefully one will be done before Saturday, and then beyond that, obviously, there'll be a lot of movers and shakers.
What about departures? Do you have to move players on to bring players in, or is it like that? Or
I think the balance has to be right, and I think over the January period, I think that has to be the case. Certainly, I would like to see at least 4 new faces in before the end of January. But with that being said, the reality is we will have to move at least 1 or 2 if that is the case. Yeah.
With Zach, is it an issue with his international clearance? Is that why he wasn't involved today? Or?
Yeah, and it's not an issue as such at the minute. We knew from day one, but we had to be careful, because in terms of preparation for this game, we knew that we could only apply for his international clearance this morning, which we did first thing. So it's obviously in the authorities now to hopefully come back to us as soon as possible and get the green light for him to be eligible to be part of the squad on Saturday.
Is he mixed in well with the group? Is he looking good in training?
Yeah, no, absolutely, definitely. He is what you've probably seen on the clips and stuff like that. He's quick, he's young, desperate to do well. Not a big personality in terms. He's not a loud one. He's quite a quiet Irishman. There's nothing wrong with that, because I know he's got the hunger and desire to do well, and hopefully over the next couple of years or so we'll get to see that.
Jordan Adebayo's must have gone to Gainsborough. What are you hoping for him? Obviously more game time than he had at Boston.
Game time. Yeah, just game time and training regular, and he'll still do a little bit with us, but it's important for him and his development that he plays as many games as he possibly can, and it doesn't really matter the level. It's more the physicality side of it. I think he'll improve with the games from a technical point of view, but he needs to get bashed about, and that was a message to him really. I want to see him get kicked in the air and get booted, and being able to deal with that and ride challenges and ride tackles. So the more he gets to that, the better.
Just fine. Now, Chris Ashton told me when I came in the room that this is the first time since 1976 that there'd been 2 10,000 plus crowds in a row here.
Right.
And that's pretty something, that, isn't it, really? And
it's certainly. I mean,
and the atmosphere was great, wasn't it? Particularly towards the end.
Yeah, it was brilliant. It was brilliant, and the more gates we get like that, have to be a rocket science. The more games we get like that, the better the performances will be, because they're just naturally going to get a lift. It helps that the opposition bring a few as well. I know that and I get that. But you know, that'll be my message to the fans. Just, you know, hopefully you've seen enough that will want you to keep coming back and keep coming through the gates. And you know, we've still got some big games this year. I can say that now, can't I? Yeah. Still got some big games this year to look forward to, and hopefully it'll be the same again.
Obviously it's about winning first and foremost, but are you conscious of entertaining as well? Because the last couple of performances in particular have been very good.
Yeah, I am, but it's one of them, getting the balance, Matt. It's one of them where, you know, people could have a pop at me, you know, for the goal we conceded, but that just comes down to decision making and, you know, execution.
Doing it
you know,
at the right time.
yeah, but it was still on at times to do it, and we turned it down. So it's a learning curve, you know, and we have to learn as a group and recognise, you know, when to do it, when not to do it, depending on how they press the opposition. If they press with a 2 or a 3, and you learn by. That's a big one. You do learn by making mistakes, and they've had the courage to bounce back. You learn by the video work that we do and show them all the time, and we work the patterns of play that we create on the pitch, on the training pitch.
Brilliant, thank you. Well done.
Cheers, mate.
Michael, just one from me. How much training will you get in between now and the Sunderland?
Almost nothing. We will train on the way to Sunderland. We tend to do that quite a lot, where we, just from a traffic point of view, try and avoid it, travel, and on the way up do a little bit of training. But certainly the lads who played a few games, they'll do very little. Obviously the lads who've not played much will get a little bit more into them, but I've just mentioned then the recovery is the single most important thing, and you know, we'll make sure that the players are recovered and ready to go again, because the energy levels we've showed over the last 2 games and even before that have been magnificent.
Jason was on the bench today, most pleased after what you said yesterday, so that's a positive sign. As far as you know, early stages, people have come through without injuries today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right. Thank you.
Good. Spot on. Cheers, fellas.